Alright guys, so I'm obviously not going to be showing the video associated with this story. If you want to, you can seek it out yourself, but I can't show it for a variety of reasons, and not all of them have to do with protecting my channel against YouTube TOS. It's really just a disturbing video when you know the story behind it. I don't actually recommend looking it up. There's nothing like, it's not like a morbid curiosity thing of like, oh, I want to see the police brutality because I have to see it. Because it's like a train crash. No, this is just not going to make you happy, I promise. You will come out of it feeling worse going in. And that is because the video we're talking about is police body camera video showing the August 19th arrest by Phoenix police of Tyron McAlpin, a black man who is deaf and has cerebral palsy. And obviously this video has come out and is sparking outrage from civil rights and disability activists. That's right. A deaf man with cerebral palsy being brutalized by the police on body cam. And it gets surprisingly worse. The video shows that, immediately upon pulling up, Officer Benjamin Harris jumped out of his vehicle and began punching McAlpin, as Officer Kyle Sue rushed over. McAlpin was punched at least 10 times, and was also tased repeatedly. Sue can be heard on the video claiming McAlpin bit him, and in the police report from the incident, Harris claims McAlpin swung at him. McAlpin now faces 3 felony charges for allegedly assaulting the officers and resisting arrest. McAlpin's civil attorney, Jesse Showalter, said that the video of his client's arrest is really unconscionable. Tyron is just trying to avoid getting hurt by an aggressive, out-of-control police officer. I can tell you from watching the video, if you want to see it yourself to confirm or deny, like, they literally just, like, it's clear they're calling at him, but he's deaf. He can't hear them. So by the time they're on him and assuming that he's resisting arrest, he's just now realizing they're there. And they're already acting with violence on him. So imagine you're someone who can't hear at all, or little to no hearing, and all of a sudden you're being manhandled. And you don't even realize it's by cops, like, for a few seconds. Like, obviously you're gonna have a second of, like, reacting in surprise. Especially if you're someone with cerebral palsy who... I don't know a lot about cerebral palsy, but I assume that getting manhandled and roughed around with that is probably not great. Police had been called to a nearby convenience store for a complaint about a white man who was loitering. That man claimed he had been assaulted and that his cell phone had been stolen. When police arrived, he pointed to McAlpin as the culprit, but McAlpin is not facing I thought they were responding to a call about a white man loitering. Yeah, about a white man who was loitering. Okay, wait. That man claimed he had been assaulted and that his cell phone had been stolen. Okay. The cops were called there about a white guy who was loitering. They approached the white guy who was loitering, and the loitering white man said that he had been assaulted and his cell phone had been stolen. He pointed at McAlpin as the culprit, basically saying, no, don't take me away for loitering, or don't give me a citation for loitering. Go after that guy because he assaulted me and took my phone. But McAlpin is not facing charges related to that man's claims. He's only facing charge... By the way, it's because he didn't do what he was accused of by that guy, almost certainly. He was deflecting, probably, and the cops went after this guy, and because he was deaf and has cerebral palsy, he behaved in ways that seemed suspicious or unusual to the cops, and they immediately reacted with violence and fear and anger and brutality, and now they are trying to double down to cover up what they've done. That's what it seems like here, especially after seeing the video. Attorney Showalter said McAlpin hadn't done anything wrong, so all the force that they used was excessive, unnecessary, and unreasonable. Andre Miller, vice president of the Arizona State Conference, NAACP, condemned McAlpin's arrest, saying in a statement, quote, "This brutal assault was due to the false claims of a white citizen, reminiscent of many falsehoods like Emmett Till that have claimed the lives of black citizens in America. Tyron was not a suspect in an actual crime. He had not done anything wrong, and he also has communication challenges. His assault happened seconds after the police vehicle was put in park. No true communication in this encounter was present." McAlpin spent 24 days in jail before making bond. He pleaded not guilty. The officers didn't learn he was deaf until after the arrest, and as of Tuesday, remain on the job, of course. And as you know, the worst they can expect is paid time off, paid leave, paid vacation. That's how it always goes. The Arizona Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing said in a statement it was disheartened by this incident. We provided post-training for officers to communicate with deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind Arizonans, yet these modules are not currently being used. Cultural and language knowledge and awareness is vital for the safety of all. Yeah, so Arizona is a very conservative state. And one of the biggest downsides of a conservative state is that when you have these movements that are doing all of the hard work and are just trying to convince politicians to pick up the policy that they've written, essentially, they'll refuse to do so. One of the best things, like, that is direct action, is joining an org that basically writes up policy and like lobbies for politicians to push that policy. That is direct action. That's like going beyond the ballot box, right? That's what it actually looks like. But if you have Republicans in office, they will not listen to any of these organizations. They will not try to make happy these movements or these advocates or these activists, right? Instead, they'll, like Trump promised, call the military on them. Democrats will try to appease them. And that is why direct action can only really exist under a system in which we have elected better politicians, because Republicans are not going to do anything about the situation. Republicans are going to make these cops into heroes and martyrs for the sake of the culture war. Like, these cops are going to have their faces on the next, like, conservative beer logo, okay? Like, trust me. The Phoenix Police Department declined a CBS News request for an interview, but said in a statement it is investigating the officer's actions. Maricopa County Attorney General Rachel Mitchell, the county's top prosecutor, has also promised to review the case. Quote, because of the attention on this case, I will personally review the entire file, as well as the totality of the video. I may reach a different conclusion, or I may not, but I believe this case merits additional scrutiny, Mitchell said in a statement. Let's hope something actually comes out of the amount of attention this is getting. In a statement provided to CBS News Wednesday, Phoenix Mayor Kate Galeo said she has watched the body camera footage and shares the deep concern we've heard from some in our community, and this incident warrants a full and thorough investigation. In a statement Wednesday, Phoenix Mayor Kate Galeo said she has... Wait. Okay. It just repeated the same line twice in a row. CBS News, are you having AI write your articles? Chat, look at this. In a statement provided to CBS News Wednesday, Phoenix Mayor Kate Galeo said, blah, 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 watch body camera. And then in a statement Wednesday, body camera footage. Was this written by AI or is this human error? Because in one line, it's maybe this seems like human error, because the way it says in a statement provided to CBS News Wednesday, this seems to have been the final iteration of this paragraph, and then this was the original iteration, and they added the in a statement provided to CBS News Wednesday, but then forgot to delete this line. Yeah, this seems like human error. It's always funny when you cover news articles for a living and you spot errors in big mainstream news articles, you know what I mean? Galeo said in the city's Professional Standards Bureau and Force Evaluation Review Unit have launched investigations. Phoenix Councilman Kevin Robinson said Tuesday in a statement, while I cannot comment on the specific details of the incident at this time, I look forward to a thorough investigation that will be conducted in a timely manner. The incident came just 2 months after a damning Department of Justice report, oh my god, found Phoenix police engaged in a pattern of discrimination and excessive force. The Justice Department is aware of the McAlpin arrest. ACLU Arizona Policy Director Daryl Hill said the video showed another devastating example of Phoenix Police Department's racial bias and use of excessive force against people who do not pose a threat to them, including those with disabilities. Extreme and disproportionate reactions like this are well documented in the Department of Justice's investigation and report. Clearly, the report's findings are not being taken seriously. Critical changes are not being implemented by police or city leaders, and federal oversight is gravely needed. Showalter noted that everything seen in the video postdates the DOJ report. It just runs counter to everything the city of Phoenix claims that it's doing in response to the DOJ report. So, this story is truly upsetting. A man who suffers from disabilities that made it impossible for him to recognize and comply with police requests is assaulted, arrested, held for 45 days before he met bail, and is now being charged with 3 felonies. They're essentially charging him for his face hitting the cop's fist. This is obviously an extreme example, but the fact that this is what can happen in the realm of our justice system, and the fact that it so frequently happens to people of color more often than white people. I'm not saying it needs to happen more to white people or whatever. I'm saying this needs to not happen at all. The fact that it's a problem and it's so targeted at a specific racial group that the problem isn't being acknowledged because the power-holding, wealthy, powerful white people don't care to deal with it because it could never affect them. Yeah, this is what I talk about when I say, well, this is what the left in general talks about when they say that it's not about the individual cops, it's about the system. The fact is that these guys are still serving, and the worst thing, the worst consequence that they have to worry about, more likely than not, is a paid vacation. Let's be real. Worst consequence these guys have to worry about is a paid vacation. Or worst case scenario, truly worst case scenario, they get transferred to another police department. They have to leave the police department they're in, move to another city, and join another one. There are so many cases we've covered recently where problem cops have a history of getting transferred from police department to police department, from city to city, whenever they get into trouble. This actually happened recently. There was a pretty famous football player who was racially profiled and had police brutality done on him. He had been pulled over for speeding, which he apparently was speeding. But, you know, he was mouthing off to the cop a little bit. But, I've seen white people be just as, confrontational with cops. And the cops don't drag the white people out of the car and tase them and pin them and cuff them up. And so it was very clearly, over the top and racially motivated. And that cop had a insane history of department transfers after clear cases of police brutality. I mean, hell, he had to get transferred. The fact that police departments were transferring him goes to show they recognized a problem. Yeah, don't expect a Derek Chauvin level of catharsis here where, there's any charges, found, pushed onto these cops. They're very likely to, worst case scenario, get a free vacation, or sorry, a paid vacation. Not a free vacation, a paid vacation. And a, worst case scenario, a transfer to another department in another city. Maybe even still in Florida. If Trump was in power, Derek would have been given the key to the city. Yeah. I mean, Derek Chauvin, the example I used about the conservative beer thing and these cops being on the logo for the next conservative, Republican beer, GOP beer grift, that was a real thing with Derek Chauvin. There was a conservative beer thing that put Derek Chauvin on the label. And people bought it. This is why I'm scared of cops, even if some cops are good or just doing their job. As a black woman, all I have to do is look at them funny and I'd be shot dead. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, even as a white person who is committing no crimes, I'm scared of cops. Let's be real. Cops are scary. Cops are people who have the unanimous power to just, decide, if a cop decides they want to kill you, what can you do? Legitimately, a cop goes postal and decides they want to kill you, like the Terminator, they want to hunt you down and murder you. What can you realistically do? Unless you can prove it to the police, they're going to be calling in backup, claiming that the shots fired, I've been shot at by this person. There are so many things they could say and ways that they could basically weaponize the entire police force against you if just some cop in a manic state decides they want to kill you. And if you lift a finger to defend yourself, hell, if you so much as run away from the bullets, you might end up spending your life in prison. The fact that there is a scenario that can unfold where cops have that much power over your life and you have so little right to defend yourself, even if you survive the attack, it's terrifying. The power cops have is terrifying. It doesn't matter if they're a good cop or you're a white person or a black person or if you don't commit crimes. That is a terrifying idea that a cop could just, like, cops are still human people. They could just go postal one day and have a mental break and decide they're going to just start hunting and killing people and using their power as a cop to do it. And that could just happen. And you could just end up in their line of destruction. And they could just get away with it. And hell, you could get in trouble for defending yourself. That is a terrifying idea that cops have that much power. There have been murderous cops that have used their position to get away with committing crimes like that before, too, by the way. This isn't a fantasy scenario. Cops have done this. Hell, cops have beaten false confessions out of primarily young black men. That, like, a lot of the mistaken death penalties that have happened, where the death penalty and execution have been done by the state on false basis, and it's been found out that the allegations were false all along, and they executed an innocent man. The vast majority of the times, it's a young black man who had a false confession literally screamed or beaten out of them. A lot of serial killers try to become cops, by the way. That's always a scary fact, is when you see how many famous serial killers tried to become cops. Yeah. Because, like, what better job for a serial killer than cop? Really think about it for a minute. I mean, Dexter was kind of locked in. Dexter knew what he was doing. Anyway. Oh, itchy nose. Like I said, this is just another example of our broken system in this country. And really, the best way you can have an impact on this problem is to vote. Not just to vote, but to make sure the people who you vote into office are willing to listen to calls for reform. The Republicans will reform this system and make it even worse. The Democrats will at least be people that you can pressure for reform to make things better. But if we don't get Kamala Harris elected, you can kiss any hopes of that goodbye. That you can promise. That I can promise. For sure. Anyway. Oh my gosh, my nose, it won't stop itching. With that said, though, this has been a pretty downer topic, but if you did enjoy somehow, if you found it educational or entertaining, then please consider leaving a like, whether it be the stream, the VOD, or the video when it comes out on its own. It really does help a lot and means a ton. As does commenting down below. It compounds the support. Every like and comment forces YouTube to push my content and the algorithm out to more people, which really does help me a lot. And then, of course, it's totally free, so, you know, why not, right? Why not? And of course, you can follow my social medias, linked down below in the description. Subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. Join my fan Discord, linked down below in the description of all my videos and streams so you can be part of the main hub of my community. It is, of course, totally free, and I also announce all my new uploads and streams there and host gaming events, call-in streams, and watch parties in my Discord. I'll actually be hosting a watch party tomorrow night after streams, so make sure you join and you're not late for that. I do hope to see you guys there. But yeah, with that said, no matter how you support me, thank you so much for watching and have a good one.